Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Corki supplementary guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at Crit Corki. Now, Crit Corki has not been the ideal build ever since Mana Moon got buffed. You can see that basically everybody will always go Mana Moon into Triforce and then into Crit. But today we're going to be trying out a 100% Crit build without going for Triforce or Mana Moon, right? So I was thinking that, crit items are going to be updated in the next patch. We're probably going to be seeing some crit Corki builds come out, so let's just try out a crit Corki build a little bit early and see how the mana, issues are and things like that, right? So let's get into the build. It's a pretty straightforward build, right? So we're going to start with the Gluttonous Greaves, AD, Omnivamp, then into Essence Reaver. Just for number 1, you get ability haste, you get number 2, you get AD, and of course number 3, you get the Essence Flare passive, which increases the damage of your spells. Very important for your Q and your ultimate. And also you get the Mana Siphon passive to restore missing mana on hit. Pretty important on Corki considering his mana issues. And then we go into Charge Blade. Now Charge Blade, of course, you get a stack whenever you cast an ability, and then you can of course crit on this magic damage auto attack that when you trigger the Charge Blade. Now of course Charge Blade and Essence Reaver are going to be combined in the next patch, so we are going to have no more Charge Blade anymore after that, so we're gonna have to see how it goes after that. And then you're gonna have IE, for a huge amount of AD as well as increased crit damage, and then more reminder, armor, pedigree with wounds. And last item is pretty flexible. You can go for something like a Black Cleaver to shred enemies' defenses, Maw, Twin Guard, GA, these kind of defensive options, right? Runes are gonna go for Conquer, for the stacking AD and the Omnivamp, and then here you can go for either Gathering Storm or you can go for Brutal, because Corki honestly doesn't auto attack a lot, so Gathering Storm is kind of fine, I guess. Brutal is also kind of fine because you do get some damage but not a whole ton of damage. And then you have Giant Stare, just to deal with the tanks, Alacrity for more attack speed, as well as Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities. And as usual for the spells, we're going to go for Flash together with Cleanse against CC, no CC, we're going to go for Barrier or Exhaust. Now with all that said, let's move on to talking about the gameplay. Okay, so now let's move on to talking about the gameplay as usual. So in this game, we are playing with a Zilean support. So this kind of gives us the ability to play a little bit more aggressively, with him giving us the movement speed to kind of run forward with the E, and also with that revive, allowing us to perhaps die and get revived by Zilean. Now Zilean did get nerfed, in patch, I believe it's 6.1D and 6.1F, but I still think that Zilean is a very, very strong champion, and he actually is still performing very, very well. He still does very good damage despite having only one damage spell. His utility and his CC is just pretty amazing. And we're against a Kai'Sa Galio here. Galio tries to go in, and here honestly we are completely outspacing the Kai'Sa Galio. We have full stack Conqueror here, and we're just landing our spells and our autos onto the two of them. Kai'Sa is taking a bunch of damage. Galio has to pop the heal to ensure Kai'Sa stays safe, and we're just continuing to harass. We still have a full stack Conqueror, I believe, or maybe not anymore right there actually. But we do get a lot of harass onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa actually bases completely and doesn't even stay under the tower to risk it. And here we are going to be able to push in the wave, but I don't really even think Kai'Sa is going to lose any minions, right? The whole wave is crashing into the tower. She might lose one. She doesn't even lose one because Galio actually gives her the minion, so she still gets all of the minions. So you can see that in Wild Rift, going back to base is not really as punishing. Now here we're at level 2. I pop the armor shredder, or not, it's not even armor shredder anymore, it's just it shreds both defenses now. So we pop that, we chunk Kai'Sa out again. This time she takes the fruit. We still have our own fruit up if we need it, because we are getting chunked ourselves with our aggression, but we are very close to getting boots, right? So ideally here we don't want to even use the fruit, we just want to shove this wave in and then pick up the fruit. Now there we force Kai'Sa's flash, so Kai'Sa no flash, no cleanse, Galio no heal. Kai'Sa is very, very killable at this point. We did use our ignite and our own cleanse, so it's a situation where we have a one summoner spell advantage on myself, where I have flash whereas Kai'Sa doesn't, which is a very, very huge advantage. Could definitely lead to us getting a kill in lane if we play it properly and play around the summoner spell timers. In this game though, there is an Evelynn, and when there is an Evelynn, sometimes you do want to pick up that control ward to ensure that the river is ward. Now I'm honestly not bothering to do it in this particular game, but it is quite advisable to do so majority of the time. Here, we're just going to continue pushing out the wave. Rengar is here and gets into a fight with the bot lane. Here, Evelynn is also here. So here we get into a 3v3. Zillion pops the slowdown. We get the kill onto the Galio. I'm chasing onto the Kai'Sa, but there's no real chance of us killing the Kai'Sa here. So I'm going to walk back, knowing that Evelyn is somewhere nearby, right? Zillion and Rengar are both kind of near me. Evelyn tries to one-shot me, and I'm actually nearly in ult range. The only issue, or I actually am in ult range, the only issue is that Evelyn doesn't actually have her ult because she already used it just now. So she's not able to execute me because she doesn't actually have the ulti. This allows me to remain alive with Rengar and Zillion coming over to help me, and then also allows me to then push in the wave and then pick up a little bit of a reset. Now, Kai'Sa here has made a very major building error, which is that she has built her boots as a first item. On Kai'Sa, she's basically the only ADC that you never want to rush boots as a first item, because you get such a huge power spike when you get your Q evolution that you always want to be rushing an item to get the Q evolution as quickly as you can. So if you go for boots, you're basically wasting time by buying an item that costs a grand total of, I think it's about 1400, when an item like, let's say Terminus costs 3400. Yeah, of course 1400 is way less than 3400, but you don't get the evolution from the boots, right? So you're putting yourself 1400 gold behind. So your Kai'Sa gets engaged on by Zillion, tries to ult back into the fight, does have her flash and her cleanse now. I'm trying to lay down the damage. Should have aimed for the Kai'Sa there. I think if I aimed for Kai'Sa instead of Galio there, I would have gotten a kill on her. But I was trying to get greedy and go for the kill on both of them. Sometimes it's always just better to go for one instead of both. Thankfully though, my team is able to clean up the kill onto the Kai'Sa and allow us to continue pushing on the tower. Evelyn is here to try to defend the tower. Zillion has ulti, pops the ulti onto himself. Evelyn is not able to get the assassination. Galio now ults in to rejoin the fight. Rengar and Zillion are both pretty low. I'm still pretty healthy, but obviously I don't want to be fighting by myself. So here we're just going to quickly clear out the wave, and then we're probably going to look for a reset so that our teammates can reset as well, get the health and mana. I'm actually relatively low on mana, so reset is not too big of a problem either. Now here Evelyn tries to go in for the assassination, and Zillion actually makes it out but runs back to get the mushrooms and ends up dying for it. And here Kai'Sa and Galio trying to dive me, but they don't have the damage to do so, allowing me to back safely. And Kennen is apparently coming over to take over my lane, goes in with the combo onto the Kai'Sa, but doesn't actually pop ult. Now this is an awkward situation, right? Because Kennen kind of took over my lane, but I don't really want to go mid yet because it's a bit too early into the game, right? So I'm going back bot, which then allows Kennen to go back mid, and then we can go back to our respective lanes. So here, now that the enemy team is not here, or at least the Galio is not here, we're going to just whack the tower and just farm the plates, right? Kai'Sa's going to have a tough time defending tower by herself. She does eventually get the wave cleared, but we're able to pick up 2 plates before she does so. So that's a pretty huge goal injection for us. 2 plates is shared between 2 people is 150 gold, which is about half of a kill's worth of gold. Now we're just whacking the tower, and Zillion actually zones Kai'Sa away, allowing us to get the first tower of the game. So this gives us more than enough gold to actually back and pick up our first item, Essence Reaver. And as I mentioned, of course, as we all pretty much already know by now, there's going to be a huge update in patch 6.2, and it's going to be to crit items. So a lot of crit items are getting changed. Of course, Essence Reaver is going to get changed. The Charge Blade is going to get combined into the Essence Reaver, things like that, right? So yeah. So here we are going to join the Herald fight. Evelyn ults out. We're getting taunted, but we still get the kill. Anyway, we're really, really low, and we don't have the Zillion ult on us, so we're going to have to kind of run for the hills here. We almost end up falling there, but we are able to survive just barely. Now, the kind of mini issue with this is you can see Kai'Sa is farming plates, right? So that's not good, right? Of course, in this situation, we actually went up and got like 2 kills. So I think in the end, the trade between myself and Kai'Sa is about even. And considering my team gets the Herald, it's a positive trade in the grand scheme of things for my team. But in an alternate reality where I don't actually pick up these 2 kills, Kai'Sa would have gone out with the better trade, right? So rotating to the opposite side of the map whenever you have tower plates up is very, very risky, because you risk enemy team regaining a lead. Now in this case, I'm still like over 1k gold ahead of the Kai'Sa, but if she didn't get those 2 plates, right, I would be even further ahead of her, obviously. So here we're coming in for the flank on the side. huge Zillion E there to kind of stop Galio's engage, and we're able to kind of just poke out the enemy team with our Mega Rockets. Boom, the big ones, straight into the back of Annie. And here Kennen is just waiting on the side. I'm assuming he's waiting for an opportunity to ult. I'm trying to make my way here to secure this mid lane tower, which we do. Now Galio and Annie go for a fight when they have basically no tower. Annie gets the Tibbers onto me, Zillion gets the revive onto me, and Annie basically one-shots me, but due to the fact that I have Zillion with me, I'm able to be revived to basically half HP, which is more than enough, and Zillion saves my life there basically. Although I would say that if I didn't have a Zillion, I don't think we'd be making this kind of play, right? Because Annie still has her entire combo, Galio has his entire combo as well, so we wouldn't really be rushing forward to make such an aggressive play if we didn't have Zillion for the most part, right? So it's really because we have the Zillion, it allows us to make this kind of aggressive plays, and Zillion is there to kind of have your back and give you the ulti if you need it, which in that case we definitely did. And with that, we can now get off a reset and go for our Charge Blade, like so. Obviously, Charge Blade is a really, really nice item for Corki. And here I'm gonna go back to mid lane. Top lane tower is kind of the last tower that's actually still up. But we, of course, as an ADC, you always want to kind of stay mid, just so you can rotate to any lane, you know, as quickly as you can, and also just for the additional safety since we still have our mid lane tower. So here, Kai'Sa's getting jumped on by Rengar. I'm gonna help him finish the job because he doesn't quite have the damage to really one-shot the Kai'Sa just yet. In the meanwhile, Kennen is going in onto the Annie. Is tanking a couple of tower shots, but is able to kill the Annie. Now he's hopping away. Set is now on the chase here. Rengar goes in onto the Set. Galio is ulting in. Set with the huge punch, but we avoid it completely. Galio now with the chain CC, we're able to cleanse out of it, and right now chasing Galio, actually body block Galio's escape there, and as a result we're able to kill Galio. So on time to time, it does actually make sense to get in front of Galio and block him from dashing, because that will then allow you to basically stop him from escaping and then get the kill on him. Of course, as the ADC, it's very risky to do that in the vast majority of the time. But in this case, we already had a couple of enemies dead, and we knew that there was no one else going to be there, so we got in his way. And our team secures the dragon in the meanwhile. So here we want to go for the tier 2 tower, but the enemy team is all kind of respawning. We do have our team kind of around us, so we are trying to maybe be a bit more aggressive. We do have Rengar and Kennen, both of them having ult. Zillion also has ult, so we are trying to maybe force a little bit onto this tower. However, you will see Kennen is a little bit far away, and Rengar is now walking away, so we no longer have the backup of our team, so we're going to now just walk away as well. Now Kennen has been waiting in that bush for a long time now. You can see here that you can see basically as we're recalling and we're just walking out, Galio walks past, Annie is kind of near. He's not doing anything about it. He's just waiting patiently in that bush. I think it has to be at least 30 seconds. He has stood in that bush already, and he's waiting. Kai'Sa takes the gate. There, Galio is walking past him again. He's still in the bush. I've already come off a reset and I'm now farming the wave. He's still sitting in that bush. Now finally Kai'Sa walks close enough. He goes in with the full combo. Doesn't actually even one-shot the Kai'Sa. And now Galio is kind of a little bit caught out again. We're chasing onto the Galio. He gets the kill onto the Galio. And yeah, I really don't think it's worth investing like an entire minute of your time to then just get one kill. You're not recalling, you're not farming, you're not really doing anything, and you're just sitting in the bush doing nothing. So that could work if you're waiting there for like maybe 10-20 seconds, but you don't want to be waiting an entire minute for something to happen, especially in this case when there's no objective and there technically wasn't really a reason for the enemy team to walk through that corridor. Nothing forces them to kind of walk that way. So yeah, so here once again we have Zillion ult. So we are maybe looking to make a bit more of an aggressive play here onto the Annie as well as the Evelynn. However, Kai'Sa kind of shows up. We're not exactly sure where Galio is, but we do know he probably has ult. So maybe we don't want to get into a 2v4. So we're going to now just back on off. And we complete the IE. Of course, that's going to be always a huge spike whenever you go for any crit build. Getting a huge injection of AD as well as, of course, getting the additional crit damage. So here Set is kind of getting caught out here. Galio ults in, tries to help him. We're gonna run the both of them down. Unfortunately, I get CC by the Baron. The Baron polymorph here. I'm just blasting down the Galio. Galio goes down. Trying to chase onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa stands no chance here. I'm just gonna dash forward, charge blade on top of her, kill her. Annie's now stuck in between 5 people. She's obviously gonna die. And this gives us the ability to go for Baron. Evelyn and Set are still alive. Set is now going in into 5 people. Actually nearly kills a couple of people, but everybody survives. Now this is actually a pretty dangerous situation because people are all pretty low, but it all kind of works out with us securing the Baron. Evelyn nowhere really close. And while I'm waiting for the minion wave to kind of push in, I'm just counter jungling the enemy jungle. There's no real reason to push in the mid lane because inhibitor has already been secured. We can't end the game on this push in the mid lane, so no reason to take that mid lane wave. Instead, we're going to take the entire enemy blue side jungle, and then we're going to push in the wave here and attempt to go for their side lanes, right? So you can see my side lane is pushing in the opposite side lane. I'm pushing in this side lane. Kai'Sa is now going to clear the mid lane. Kennen might be looking for another trap, hiding in a different bush this time. Here, Galio and Set go in on us. Look at this fight, by the way. So here, we get CC by Galio. We're kiting away. Veil comes down, but we flash away anyways. Unfortunately, we can't quite pick up the package. We snipe the Annie a little bit. Get pulled in by Set. Snipe the Annie again. Can't get the package once again. We're getting zoned off. We're almost there. We got the package now. And now, with that, we basically have kited out the fight. And with that, at this point, with Baron and like a wave in mid, I think we can actually just run mid to end the game because only Evelyn and Galio are there, and Galio is building tanks, so I don't think they have the wave clear to defend at all. But I guess we're just having fun by farming additional tower stats, getting another tower, and then we're just going to end the game, right? So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.